So let's talk a bit about the second kind of evaluation paragraph we want to write, where we look at how individual college students could use your concept to expand their agency. What we're trying to do here is think on the level of students empowering themselves through the concept or tool. So in the case of the sample paper, the driving force, the concept is resistant capital. So how could students use resistant capital to expand their agency? And we want to dig in specifically to how individual students doing that could expand their agency. And again, it's the what, the how, and the why. So, for example, what should a student do to use resistant capital in college? How would that expand their agency? Why would that expand their agency? How should they use the capital? So, what questions, how questions, why questions? Let's take a look at what this one looks like. Again, going back to the sample. This time we have a different sample, a sample for that paragraph. And here it is. Same thing, starts with a sentence that identifies resistant capital as the topic and ideas for how it can expand agency. Then we go through a paragraph that lays out specific things that college students could do that are examples of resistant capital that would expand their agency. So it's not just what would they do, what would they resist, but how would they resist? How would that expand their agency? Why should they do it? And when you read through this paragraph, you're going to see a discussion of the kinds of things students should resist, what they should do to resist them, how they should resist, and why they should resist, what they'll gain from that. And then again, at the end of the paragraph, after this detailed discussion of who, what, when, how, why, we get down to those sentences at the end that remind us of the topic and what the larger argument has been. In other words, developing resistant capital will help students develop exactly the skills they came to college to cultivate. By developing their resistant capital in college, students learn how questioning authority can expand their agency throughout their lives. So there we go. We come back at the end of the paragraph to where we started. In between, we have lots of detailed discussions of the what, how, why. Notice too, lots of different introductory sentence structures. It's a good moment to highlight that. If I can get my machine to let me do that. So we got, for example, this introductory subordinate clause there. Got another one here. These when clauses are very powerful when you're talking about strategies and actions. Let's see, we've got another subordinate clause, if, an if clause. All right, down here we have an introductory prepositional phrase. For here, another introductory prepositional phrase. Here, another introductory prepositional phrase. So a variety of introductory subordinate clauses, prepositional phrases, and other techniques that help us link our ideas together so they don't feel like bullet points. So those are a few key ideas. You've got a claim and a clincher that tie everything back to your concept as you defined it in your intro. You've got detailed sentences in between looking at the what should students do to develop their agency through the concept you're studying, how should they do that, how will it develop their agency, and why should they do that, why would that develop their agency. And then remember, try and experiment with using these introductory sentence structures that we've been working on all semester. Hope that little preview helps. Good luck drafting your paragraph. See you in Canvas.